Gentleman from Utah is recognized for 4 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd ask the chairman of the Committee on Commercial and Administrative Law, who has oversight of this matter and which committee I rank on, to remain on the floor so that we could exchange or have a colloquy on this issue. And it appears that she has left the floor. That's unfortunate. Her response to my inquiry about yielding was that she didn't have enough time, and we're standing here today with very little time to debate an issue that is dramatically important. It's important for this institution, as, by the way, people on both sides of the aisle have said. The Speaker and the Majority Leader have both made a point of how important this issue is to this body. It is vitally important to me that we retain the rights of this body as it relates to the administration, whether that's a Republican administration or a Democratic administration. In his opening statements, Mr. Diaz-Balart talked about, or gave a quote from former Attorney General Janet Reno, in which she said there was no right to do what we're trying to do today. I would have loved to have asked the ranking or the chairman of the Committee on Commercial and Administrative Law if she thought that was the case, or if she disagreed what the scope of the right of the administration is to not appear. Obviously, there is a sense in this case that we ought to get something done, and in fact we've done a great deal. We have hundreds of hours of depositions, literally tens of thousands of pages, tens of thousands of emails. We've asked questions of everyone involved in the matter, in the case. And what have we come up with? I wanted to ask the ranking member what the evidence we are going to present to the U.S. Attorney is that he can take and say, I have a need to get this information from these people in the administration who won't show up to the House. I have a need to understand these facts which seem to be in confusion. I have a need to decide what between these two different stories is the truth. But we haven't said that to him. We don't have evidence that we can give to the U.S. Attorney. What we are giving to him is a desire to continue a witch hunt which has produced up to today zero, nothing. As far as I can tell, and I've been in every meeting, every hearing, and followed on every single deposition that we've had, there is nothing that indicates that anybody has lied or that there is a reason that the White House has been involved, and therefore there is no reason that I can understand, and I've asked many times on the record in committee hearings, what those reasons are, what it is, what the discrepancies are, what the problems are for which we need to subpoena people in the White House and create a showdown between our institution and the White House. And I see that the gentleman, the chairman of the committee, has risen to his feet, and I would love to yield to him if he is willing to answer that question. What are the discrepancies?
We don't know, because we can't get one sheet of paper from Mr. Bolton, and nobody else will talk to us. That's precisely why we were forced to this position, sir.
Reclaiming my time, and I appreciate the gentleman's position. The gentleman has said that eloquently in the past on many occasions. But we are now talking about getting a subpoena, enforcing a subpoena in a criminal process against people for whom we have no evidence, as far as I can tell, and I'll be happy to yield to the gentleman if he has evidence, no evidence that they have been involved. There are no discrepancies in the testimony that we've had before us, is there?
If the gentleman is so kind to yield again, we don't have any evidence. We aren't accusing them of anything, sir. We're merely seeking the documents that could be relevant to the determination of whether the Department of Justice has been politicized.
Reclaiming my time, I appreciate the gentleman's candor, and I appreciate the very gracious way the gentleman has handled this whole investigation. But it comes back down to this. We have no evidence. And if we're going to produce, if we're going to...
Time has expired.
30 seconds. Additional 30 seconds.
Gentleman is recognized for 30 seconds.
I thank the gentleman and the chair. And let me just finish by saying that having seen this, if there was a conspiracy, I know that the majority believes that there is something evil that is happening out there, that we ought to, if given enough time and enough context, be able to track that down and prove that this administration has done something wrong. As opposed to what the gentleman has just said, we have had a number of statements by the chairman of this committee saying that there is evidence of corruption. But we have had no evidence of corruption, none at all adduced anywhere from all the investigations we've done, and there is no basis for these contempt citations. I ask that we vote against them.
Gentleman's time has expired.